So yeah, how does this work again? Oh right. Hey, what's up? I'm Unknown This is actually Penny Lane, and I guess that's what we need to talk about. The primary bike on this channel has been the Honda Monkey Albert, which has been an awesome little bike, especially an awesome little bike to kind of tool around on and work on. And the second bike on the channel has been the 2019 Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE, which is an awesome bike in many, many ways. The XE is a pretty tall bike overall. I know the XC is a little bit shorter, and every time I would get onto it, you know, I had to get like tippy toes on the ground, and it was always a little squirrely depending on where you're stopping and what's going on. And the other problem is that that bike is made for off-road, or dual sport at least, and for the most part I found myself not going off-road as much as I had anticipated. Noticeably an overlanding channel that didn't really go overlanding much in the last year or so. And so I've been kind of trying to figure out, what should I do instead? What should I look at? Should I just kind of make do? And really, the other bike that I had, that I got rid of a little bit ago, was a 1977 Triumph Bonneville, which was a beautiful bike. But the problem with that bike was, you know, you have to sit there working on it, making sure that everything is working. And if you go for a ride, there's always that question of, are you going to make it home? Why is the engine light on? Let's make sure everything seems okay. Things that I messed with. Well, I don't know what that check engine light is for at the moment, but we'll have to see. Everything looks okay on the bike. Oh well. We'll ignore that for the moment. So yeah, really, it was a difficult decision to figure out, you know, what. After a little bit of investigation and actually pulling out some old tools that I had, a while back I had picked up a Kiwi PLX Wi-Fi OBDII scanner for a previous project, and it's been sitting in a box forever, but I sure am glad I still have it, because apparently I needed it. I was able to pull up the code of whatever the check engine light popped on with yesterday, and I'll show what that code was. And actually figuring out what the codes are when you see a check engine light on the Bonneville, and I think other Triumphs as well, depending on which ones, but I know specifically for this bike now. If you see a check engine light come on, what you can do is you turn off the bike, hold down the I button, turn on the bike, just keep holding it down, and you'll see on this screen, this LCD panel, you'll see the word tune, or no, you'll see the word type pop up. Kind of keep holding it, and then you'll see DTC pop up, and then you let go, and it'll show you what codes there are, and then you can look up the code. And with that, I was able to actually hook into the OBDII, see exactly that the code had to do with the clutch check, or something with the clutch. I was able to clear it, but then I had to figure out what was going on. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about in the previous attempt of this video were some of the initial modifications that I made to the bike. And one of those, or two of those I guess, just happened to be the clutch lever and the brake lever. I went with the ASV C5 clutch levers. These are the long ones. I wanted black. I don't necessarily, like, I wanted to replace kind of the stock silver, kind of ugly looking ones. Installed them very easily, loosening up the clutch cable, kind of pulling that off, really see, like, just unscrewing the stock lever, pulling that out, and replacing it. Normally very simple, but then you noticed I threw a check engine light. Well, it turns out that underneath this is a clutch safety switch. And what it's there for is to actually make sure that the clutch is engaged or disengaged as it should be. And the OEM stock lever has a little tab on the bottom of it that pushes that switch in when the clutch is released. And the ASV by default doesn't have that tab on it. I went in under it and I kind of took another look at it, figured out that tab was missing, installed that tab, put it back on, cleared that CEL, and got everything going again, and now no problems whatsoever. So yay for that. So I swapped out the clutch lever and the brake lever just because I wanted nice black levers, and apparently learned about the clutch safety switch prior to being interrupted by a check engine light. The other things that I wanted to talk about were the initial modifications that I did to this bike. Really simple things, but kind of creature comfort type things because of what I had available on the previous bike. You know, of course, the easy ones are, you know, a camera mount and a phone mount. I'm one of those annoying people that likes to have their phone mounted on their handlebars so that I can either have maps or music or any of that kind of stuff kind of going on. Also, with the phone, on the Scrambler, I had installed a powerlet outlet up on the triple tree so that I had available power right there. Stock underneath the seat, there is a USB phone charger available. And so what I did was I actually just took a long, I have an iPhone, so a long Thunderbolt cable, ran it under the seat, under the tank, up through here, and gave myself a place to actually plug power in. Nice and easy, and just came with the bike, and it was just the cost of the cable, which I already had. So actually quite nice. I do have some other mods already planned for the bike. The main ones, you know, getting rid of these antenna stocks and putting on some bar end mirrors like I had previously. It's a lot colder right now than it was yesterday, which reminds me that I would really like some heated grips on here, so I'll have to figure some of those out. One of the reasons that I went with the all black version, other than because it looks cool, is because it looks cool and I don't have to make a lot of changes to keep it looking cool. So we'll see how much of that kind of just sticks around. I have seen a lot of complaints about the headlight not being bright enough, so I'll have to see on that one. I believe these are tubed tires, so I may have to go in and kind of take a look at some tubeless options when I start getting around to needing new wheels on this. But for now, the bike's only got 92 miles on it, so the most important thing right now is just getting through the break-in period yet again. According to the Triumph sticker that used to be right here, you know, for the first 300 miles, they want you to keep the bike under 4,000 RPM. Really, what I tend to do is I like to kind of flutter the revs as I'm kind of moving through gears, letting things kind of, not trying to sit too long at a single RPM if I can, and allowing the engine to kind of deal with, you know, different RPMs, different gears, not bogging it down too much while not letting it rest at too high or to the same RPMs for too long. But yeah, so that's the new bike, Penny Lane, the 2022 Triumph Bonneville T120 Black. I needed to figure out what to do with the Scrambler. I wasn't using it to the potential that it had. I wasn't spending a lot of time off-road, doing anything, kind of like using it for what it is. And it's such a tall bike and everything else. Beautiful bike, loved that bike, but for the style of bike that I like, I tend to be more retro and more kind of street. In the end, really, the Bonneville probably makes the most sense. It doesn't have a lot of the electronic doodads that the Scrambler had, but in a lot of ways that's not such a bad thing. But for now, I'm just gonna keep riding this bike, enjoying, well, hopefully it warms up. I don't know what it's gonna do, but gonna get through the break-in period on the bike and just enjoy it, and see what other kind of fun things I can do with it and with Albert and pretty much everything else that I do. But, you know, in the meantime, hopefully you found something that you liked in this video. If you did, you know, like, subscribe, comment, do those things if you like to do those things. But otherwise, hopefully you're having a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.